just talked about some keyword research stuff that Adil wanted to talk about. And take it away, Adil.
I came across your video going over the keyword planner and using the data through there with the Excel format that you showed, which I thought was genius because I've seen the discrepancies between Ahrefs and SEMrush and you name it. I mean, I'm talking even thousands. Just the discrepancy is nuts. So, you know, in terms
of traffic?
Yeah, traffic. There's other factors as well. I thought that you just made a very good valid point that why don't you just stick with keyword planner and use it. I'd say the fact you can only use 10 keywords at a time, but you know, it's still better than I think anything else. So, you know, my biggest challenge has been is I'm pretty techie. I've learned quite a bit as much as I can. And it's only because I want to support my other businesses. That's why I want to learn it all. And I have a little nerdy side of me that likes this stuff. So it actually, I think, helps with it. But my questions were all related to coming down to really putting a plan together on the keywords to focus on for a business of ours. We have a restoration business called restoration360.com. It's water, emergency, fire, and mold removal. I also have cell phone stores, over 200 of them nationwide. And I also have axe throwing facilities and escape rooms. So you could imagine the promotion I could do with promoting all of them and helping them with SEO could be huge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, currently we do paid ads, tons of them. So in my restoration business, we spend around $40,000 a month in just paid ads. Companies that are out there just generating leads, okay? And each lead is about $300 to $400, $500, depending on the lead. So probably the Google Ads part of it, it's very tough. I think it's just very competitive. But so for the SEO side, I really wanted to just come down to understanding how to come up with the mapping. And I think you said something about you're not a fan of topical clustering and all that. And in a way, you almost said it was nonsense. I felt like in one of your videos. Like, I don't know why people do topical clustering and all that. And I found that amazing. I was like, I don't know, what does he know that I don't understand? So with all that being said, you know, we could start off with, let's just say, you know, mold removal. And near me would be like Philadelphia. I'm in the South Jersey, Philadelphia region. So with that being said, you know, I needed help and guidance with coming up with the top, you know, the main articles, the pillars, and then the supporting content around it. Unless you think that whole strategy is just garbage and it doesn't make sense. And the file that I sent you, for example, was, I don't know if you saw that file. It was a large file with, you know, so just walk me through what you're thinking here. If you were me, what would your process be like? And I understand a lot of the lingo.
Okay. So, yeah, no, I don't, I don't do pillar pages or silos.
What?
That never has had any proof behind it that that's what you need to do. That's what people do. In underground SEO University, we do make topical content.
Yeah.
You do have to stay on topic on your site. You do have to stay on the EMQ on your page.
Okay.
With that specificity and that depth, you also do need spread. However, when we're making topical clusters, they're all money pages. None of them are just informational pages. We're not informing the world for free. So that's the big change there, right? People, now I understand if you want to get customers at different level of the sales funnel and you want to make informational pages for that reason, oh, okay, fine. But I say, why not do the keyword research and have every single page you make as a money page, every single page you try to rank for as a money page. It gets a little SEO-y. I'm not going to say spammy, but it gets a little SEO-y in that you're like, you might rank for mold removal in Florida and Florida mold removal. Those could be two separate pages. So that's a little SEO-y. I'm not going to call it spammy because if Google AdWords Keyword Planner breaks it down, those being two different searches, well, then those are two different searches, right? They already collapse all the ones that are the same that you wouldn't have like plural and then non-plural. You wouldn't do
Makes
that.
sense. Yeah.
Keyword Planner has an AI built in that's already limiting it down to the different searches, right? And some of the pages I would be like, okay, I'm just going to collapse that anyway because it's just too close. There's no way I can't get my pages competing against each other and have keyword cannibalization. I'm not going to I'm not going to devalue my pages in that way. So I do topical clusters, but not in the way that everyone else does it, where they want to make like 100 information pages for like one money page or something like silly like that.
Sure.
Every page I do is a money page. There's tons of different pages in the middle of the funnel that also directly convert, have a lot of money behind them, and also are on the same topic. And so they're all going to...
When you say the term money page, that means converting into some sort of...
Correct. Yeah, correct. When I say money page, I mean a page that has on it somewhere a conversion button that directly makes you money.
Yeah, like a call would be.
Like a call, any kind of call to action, any kind of call button, call us now, order the service here, buy the product here.
Yep.
We could do this in various ways, right? We don't have to be obvious about it. It could be a review style page, it could be an e-commerce page, it could be a services page, it could be, and there's many kinds of conversions. There's every time they continue going as a conversion. Every time they decide to scroll down and read more is a conversion. Every time they click on your page, on your site to read more, that's a conversion. All these conversions are important.
Yeah.
But I just don't like the idea, and I've never liked the idea. And there's no science proving the idea that you need to write some kind of, like, if you want to rank for best red apples, you need to inform the world as to what apples are to begin with. And then you need to talk about red apples and green apples and blue apples and pink apples.
That's how I've been thinking. Yeah.
And then you can rank for best red apples. There's no science to prove it works that way. All the evidence that we've gotten in undergraduate university shows you don't have to do it that way. I've had sites that have like one page ranking number one.
You're crazy. What?
Now, not for very competitive queries.
Yeah.
In terms of money, but very competitive in terms of your money or your life, or very competitive in terms of like, I'm beating out universities.
Got it.
Right. And so if you have all the right signals, and there's a whole breadth of signals you can get, if you have all the right signals, then you don't need to follow, and you don't want to follow what every other SEO is doing. Because that is how Google builds their spam algorithms, right? By watching what everyone else is doing, machine learning what everyone else is doing, that's how they train their AI to detect spam brain. There's rank brain and spam brain. They're the yin and yang of rankings. Rank brain will rank you. Spam
I saw
brain,
you explain all of that.
will demote you, right? So you don't want to be doing what everyone else is doing, even if it works, which there's no proof that it does. There's the lottery theory. Do you know the lottery theory?
No.
Okay. So people who come to me, okay, Josh, I hear what you're saying, but I fired up Surfer and I got number one rankings. Why is that? Or, okay, Josh, I hear what you're saying. Don't buy crappy links, but I did on Fiverr and I'm ranking. Or, okay, Josh, I hear what you're saying. Don't put the EMQ in the URL or whatever it is, or the EMQ in the H2. You can sometimes do that. You can sometimes do that. It depends on what's been machine learned. But I've done this thing, Josh, you said not to do, and I'm ranking on page 1. Therefore, everything Josh says is wrong. That's not how it works. It's a lottery theory. Everybody wins $1 million somewhere in the world every single day.
That's right.
Does that mean you should go buy a lottery ticket?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
No, they don't have the breadth of experience and the length of time I've been in this industry. I've been in this industry longer than Google has been around. I know more people who have failed in this industry are gone that are in it, right?
Yeah.
Including Google employees that I used to talk to.
That's crazy.
I know more people who have failed, and I get the emails every week of people, Josh, my business is about to fail. Oh, this has happened, Josh. Oh, this has happened. Oh, Josh, I did what everyone said to do. I made a blog. And I talked, I put informational articles on it, and none of my e-commerce pages rank, and my whole site, now none of the information pages rank anymore. None of the pages rank. Oh, what am I going to do? You need to fix the whole 100,000 page site. I can't do that. And then they're screwed, right? They've built up this huge problem that was always lackluster or never great content, never great quality. And even if it was, fine, 2 or 3 pages out of the 100,000 they made are ranking really well. But they don't convert on them. They were never money pages to begin with.
Sure. Yeah.
They're like 8 steps removed from anything that they use as a conversion. So now they've kind of shot themselves in the foot. And so people come back and say, well, I'm on page 1. Are you ranking number 1? No. Yeah. Well, you should be number 1. Why aren't you number 1? Right? In undergraduate university, we get number 1 all the time. Yeah. Every day in and day out. Now, I'm not going to say it's not hard. It is very hard. SEO is super hard. It is a full-time job. Especially if you're in the affiliate niches and some local niches, tough niches, is 8 hours a day, Monday to Friday.
Damn.
You know, and that's not how it used to be. In 2010, it was like 2 hours a day, and you
Got
wouldn't play
Yeah.
golf. So they don't get how much work is behind it. They don't get how much research is behind it, right? And so it's the lottery theory, and people just don't get it. You know, I go onto Reddit, and they're like, "Oh, well, I rank just fine." I'm like, "Well, prove it." And they never do. And then even if they did, they'd be like, "Okay, you're spot 5. That's not number 1."
Yeah.
You know,
Or it's like the dumbest keyword that you never would have thought of. That.
right?
You know, it's funny you nailed that, because people struggle giving you a good one when I ask for proof.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Join our group. We have a wins channel.
Work? How does that work? Your group.
So the group is it's a private group. It's for pay. I'm very choosy about who gets in.
Okay.
It's a group of very high level SEOs. We've been doing this since 2017. We got sick and tired of all the rumor and innuendo and guessing in the SEO industry. And we started in the same group with a bunch of others that we've all kind of split off, and this is my group.
Yeah.
We all started the testing kind of philosophy, where we don't listen to what Google says. We don't care what anyone else says. We single variable test it. SVT test, single variable test it.
Yeah.
And so that's how our group started, and we've done more stringent testing from then. We've done more kind of a larger breadth of testing from then. Our repertoire and our grand unified theory of ranking has just developed and built out. We knew that they were doing AI in terms of like ranking and what to do with it before anyone else knew they were doing AI. People speculated, people read the white papers, people read patents, but they didn't know how to implement it. They didn't know how to manipulate it. We did, and we do.
Yeah.
It's a great group. Everyone helps each other. You'll feel very welcome in the group. When people join, you'll feel like you're taken care of. There's a lot of people in the group to answer a lot of questions. We have a breadth of knowledge that far exceeds mine, but we are at the end of the day, an evidence-based testing group. Nobody goes in there just running off their mouth. Nobody goes in there saying this and that. Everybody holds everyone to account in terms of the highest level of testing. And if somebody in my group says this will work, it will work. Like they've tested it, right? And if it doesn't, I'll delete the post. Like I'll be like, you haven't proven this, but no one has, because everyone knows the drill, right? Everyone knows.
Wow, so people post evidence with what they've done and said? Is that how it goes?
Of course.
Wow. I like that.
Of course. I mean, it blows my mind. How could any other group run any differently? No, of course. They're always, we have a wins channel. We have proof going back monthly. Every month you'll see our wins from our field experiments, our actual client pages, our money pages, and our tests for every single month for the last 6 years. We can go back. And I was smart to collect all those in a folder.
Yep.
I just throw them in the Dropbox. And you can check that out. You can go back historically and see everything we were doing and all the methods of why we're doing it. Also, there's a wins channel in the Discord. You can go back and see every single thing we've tested. There's a test channel. You can read every single test we've done, every single white paper, every single thing we did. And you can see how it's provided the boosts and then what people are doing in the wins channel of getting those boosts. We're all over local. We're all over AI. We're all over content generation. We're all over.
Nice. Yeah, I need that. I need to actually have something like this.
Yeah, we're all over keyword research.
I've been just, you name a guy from, pretty much everyone you could think of. I've consulted with pretty much, you're the last guy out there probably.
I am the last guy, yeah.
You're the last guy. And to be honest, you're pretty impressive. I think you have the science behind it more nailed down with the evidence, which I thought was very interesting. And the fact that your software ran there with it collecting data and it took 20 minutes to do, I was like, this is just very impressive. It's not just BSing you and showing you.
Yeah, no. So that's Keyword Spy. That's the AI tool that I engineered, and it's a next level. It's a next generation AI tool. It's not ChatGPT. It's ChatGPT plus. It's AIs talking to AIs talking to AIs talking to AIs. So we're automating the process of being an SEO consultant with 24 years experience and all this education. Right. So what we actually do, the reason why it takes so long is because we actually build you a model. We build you your own AI model based on the actual AIs that Google uses. RankBrain, BERT, neural matching, helpful content, product content. And in there somewhere is EAT. Expertise, experience, authority, and trust is in there somewhere. And we actually build you your own models. And so unlike every other AI tool out there, which just picks an open source NLP like WordNet or whatever, and gets entities out of it and says, oh, here, these are the magical keywords. That's bullshit. Every AI, RankBrain, BERT, neural matching, they all have their own different entities. They all have their own different keywords that score differently.
Yeah, I saw that pie that you broke down from Google's. I saw the pyramid. I mean, not the pie that had the breakdown of all. I understand what you're saying, and listen, I'd rather believe on the science than anything else. I definitely feel like it's an approach I have to take. So, how's your group work? You just join it with a yearly membership, or what is the process there?
It's a regular $300 a month. I have discounts on for various reasons and different things, but the full package is 300 per month.
What's in that package?
In that package is access to the Discord knowledge base,
Yeah,
hundreds and hundreds of experiments to read, hundreds and hundreds of SEO tips and tricks
yeah,
that are proven to boost you, and hundreds of hours of courses. And then there's the courses that I've done. There's the must-watch courses, the watch this courses, and the basic
yeah.
orientation streams
Nice.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then a whole bunch of other little gimmies and extra
Got you,
things.
got you. And thank you for everything you explained. It really is eye-opening, and it's good to know that I'm talking to someone that's really a professional in their field. So I just want you to know that. So with that being said, what do you recommend then if I was to focus on this restoration company that's a local company? We're not looking for national leads. We're not looking to, the goal of the site is to convert, getting phones to ring and forms to get submitted. There's so many cities in South Jersey, New Jersey, and Philadelphia area. We could target by county, city, state. I don't know how we make city pages. There's some cities that are small, some are big. Do I make tons of them by, let's just say, mold removal in Philadelphia, mold removal in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, mold removal, or what do you recommend we do here? And how do I kind of take action on this? What do you suggest?
Yeah, so that's exactly it. So whatever keywords you want to rank for is what you go for. And
Yeah.
if you have all those areas, then I would go for all those areas.
Yeah.
You would want to have different content for every page, of course, including the different areas.
That's right.
Keyword Spy has tools built in where generating the content shouldn't be difficult. You have to make sure every page is as helpful as possible with the highest quality. Quality is a euphemism. I'm going to say it. As helpful as possible, has specific things that our AI looks for and says, hey, you don't have this, put it in here. In case you're not a subject matter expert in that thing, our AI is a subject matter expert in that thing and will tell you these things. At the end of the day, it's like local and non-local, except for the map pack, except for the GMB listing, which is a different thing.
Yep.
That's a different product. A web page is a web page, a site is a site, a query is a query. There is absolutely no difference between an e-commerce site and a local site, and a porn site and a church site. There is absolutely no difference whatsoever, right? There's only slight differences in how you would approach it, maybe, in terms of buying links or things like that, but that's not all of SEO.
Yeah.
As far as Google is concerned, they definitely don't have, to our knowledge, to our testing, they definitely don't have classifiers where this is an e-commerce site, so we will apply the e-commerce algorithms. That's not how it works. Right?
Got it.
They do DOM vector machine learning. DOM stands for a document object model. That is the object model that gets extracted from a markup language, including HTML, also XML, but in this case, HTML. So they extract the rendered HTML into the document object model. Google has fully admitted they do this. We know they do this. And then they said they do stuff to it. We found out what stuff that is. It's machine learning. They machine learn what the average tags, attributes, values of attributes, content in the tags, whether it's EMQ, PMQ, AI keywords, all of that. That's the genetics of the page. The machine learned the whole thing. And then RankBrain clicks things into position or demotes things. And they have query deserves diversity. They have QDD, so they float in a weird one every now and then. Like if you've seen a search results page where it's like all review pages, but then there's like one Yelp listing, or it's all e-commerce pages, but then there's one top 5 buying guide review style pages. That's because it got the QDD spot. There's a query deserves diversity spot on most of these SERPs that they save for them. And you can get that spot. So no other group even knows this. All the spots on the SERP are not equal, right? If you're going for the top 5 buying tips angle, and there's only one of those on the SERP right now, you have one spot to go for, and you will never get better than number 3 unless you're really blowing everyone else out of the water, right? Yeah. You would need that many more signals to get even better, right? So again, ignoring the GMB. Which is it's a whole other beast, which I have top level local guys in here, which would talk about that a lot more than I do in the group. But the basics are, it would be like a web page like any other. If you want to rank for mold removal in blah, mold removal X, mold removal Y, mold removal Z, that's what you would do. You would do all that. You might want to make one single services page, then link out to all of them and not have them in the drop-down menu, or you might have the drop-down menu. I don't know. Those nitpicky details, the local team would have been able to advise you in the group. But basically, you build it out. You'd follow our standard formula and process. You would do keyword research to begin with to make sure you're ranking for the most lucrative, easiest queries to begin with, or at least you have a lot of those in the mix so that you're getting traffic, you're getting rankings, you're getting conversions.
So focus on the ones that, like for example, in the graph that you made with the score that we got after doing all the calculations. At the end, there was a score that it generated, based off the volume, the high cost per click, and then I think there was something else, I forget.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you get that score. So start from there and then work my way down, or is it better to, because I want to map this out so we're not guessing, 2-3 months from now, weeks from now, hey, what article are we working on? What's going on? Did we ever write about this or not? Because there's only so much you write about mold. You're gonna run out. It's, black mold, mold removal, mold in my shower, mold in my wall.
Yeah.
So
we've actually built this into Keyword Spy. So let me share my screen and show you.
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
How this would all work. So what we did is that video that I made, we've actually built it into Keyword Spy under Keyword Discovery. It's not quite finished yet. Right now it's doing the lucrative part. It'll show you the most lucrative keywords. Mm-hmm. And then it's also got an AI in there that is actually going to analyze the difficulty, and then you'll be able to multiply it by the actual difficulty of the keywords afterwards. So you'll see the easiest keywords analyzed in a way that no other tool does, not just by links, right? It's not Ahrefs. You can cancel Ahrefs. You can save money on that. You can cancel SEMrush. You can save money on that.
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
I can save almost every SEO's job right now by telling you cancel Ahrefs and cancel SEMrush.
Yeah.
They're complete waste of money. I know that they're the entire game of some people because they don't know what else to do, so they just do what these tools tell them to do.
Sure.
But you're not going to rank off of that. Yeah. Not enough. Anyway, you might rank 40% of the time, which is not enough. Yeah. You're not a professional in the industry if you can't rank more than 40% of the time.
Sure.
If a surgeon only had a 40% success rate for easy surgeries, they wouldn't be a surgeon anymore. We built all of this into Keyword Spy, so you don't have to do it. So this is just an example that I did recently for someone else earlier. We've built all that stuff into here.
Oh, wow, I didn't see this before in your.
Yeah, this is new.
Oh, no wonder.
So the keyword difficulty score will be done later. So it says coming soon. But after you run the keyword difficulty score, or you can highlight, a bunch of ones and then generate the difficulty score. Mm-hmm. And then you can start the keyword report from here. But this is the SEO score. And the SEO score is the monthly searches times the traffic times the average CPC, and then times the year-over-year change.
Oh, okay.
So that's the big daddy score. Uh-huh. The average monthly search volume is here. Mm-hmm. I notice it doesn't have a number for that. Oh yeah, it does if you mouse over it.
Mouse over, okay.
33,000, 12,000.
Yeah, that's great. That's what we need. I mean, everything's right here, to be honest with you.
Yeah. And this will do everything I showed you in that video. This will do it and better, actually, because it's also going to do it's already doing everything I did in the video. It only has 482 ideas because I'm not on the staging server. I'm on the production server because the staging server is having an error right now.
No problem.
But it will be like 20,000 keyword ideas because it's going to use ChatGPT. It'll just plug everything into ChatGPT the way I showed in the video, but it'll do it automatically.
So now, kickstarting with one of these, let's just say the African, what is it right? You right here? Child? No,
it's a cichlid. It's called a cichlid.
Yeah,
it's an African cichlid fish. It's a saltwater fish that people put in saltwater tanks, I believe.
Got you. So here's where, I am always confused on was, okay, so let's just say we started that as a main page that you put a lot of content on and did all the work. How would you, as Josh, find out what other supporting articles you should be interlinking to with this topic?
We don't do any interlinking.
You don't do any interlinking?
No, that's a good way to throttle your page rank and hurt your site. Everything is flat linked. Everything has one link only.
Everything I've learned just changes.
Everything has one link only. Because if you start building clusters, now you're dividing your page rank more into little clusters.
Sure. Yeah.
So now you're boosting one part of your site, but you're demoting another part of your site.
Okay.
right? You're not generating enough PageRank out of nothingness. All you're doing is sculpting the PageRank. They used to call it PageRank sculpting. All you're doing is sculpting the PageRank to demote other parts of your site. So because every page we make is a ranking page, a money page, we don't ever want to demote any other. We don't want to demote the 3, 4, or 5 money pages so that the 1, 2, 3 money pages can rank, right? So everything is a flat linking structure. Everything's off the root. There are also there's no blog. There's no, we don't.
So off the
blog.
service page, you have.
I wouldn't even have /services.
Oh wow.
Right, because that's not helping you in any way, shape, or form. And the more we tested you from the root, the worse the ranking demotions get. Right, the longer the URL is, the worse the rankings are. So everything is off the root, and everything is flat linked. Now that can be difficult for some sites that have like tens of thousands of pages and have different hierarchies. Fine, then it's a very simple tree or simple root structure, but we're not building these little clusters of pages that link to each other and only these pages.
Got it.
So now, typically, because those kinds of pages, one, you're hurting other pages by doing that. Two, you're confusing the spider, you're confusing the AI to figure out what your site is about and how that works. Three, those are only done in informational sense in the beginning of the top of the funnel anyway. Four, with Google Bard, pretty soon in the featured snippet, pretty soon people are going to learn that on Google itself and might not click to your site, so why inform them for free? I never knew why you were informing them for free to begin with. Five, you can get all the topicality you need in the site with nothing but just middle of the sales funnel informational, they call them no-do. So no pages, KNOW. So no pages at the top of the funnel, no do pages in the middle of the funnel, do pages at the bottom of the funnel, and then navigational queries at the very, very tip. And that also represents the search cycle, and that represents the sales cycle as well, right? So we try to exist kind of at worst in the middle of the funnel. So some of these pages at least have a chance of making some money.
So looking at this page that you have open right now with your tool, you would write based on these searches, with your SEO score, you would write an article with that targeting that keyword, right?
Theoretically, I would also now factor this against the keyword difficulty score. That's being built into the tool and would be done within a week.
Okay.
Now, so I would go, okay, let's run it on this one let's run it on these, whatever, these 100 ones here.
Sure. Yeah.
And then we're going to generate the difficulty score.
What's your threshold for the difficulty score? How high or low does it have to be for you to determine if it's worth going after or not?
It's all relative. Okay. This is where we've taken a UI tip from Ahrefs, and that's the only tip we've taken from Ahrefs, is a UI tip, where once you click go here and this works, you can click the button to show me. It'll drop down the top 10, and it'll show you the spots on the SERP that are open that you can go for. It'll show you what's really, really hard, what's really, really easy. It analyzes it in a way an SEO consultant would. So links is only one out of like 10 different floating relative comparison points that we would compare like a human would compare it. It's a second generation AI. It's not just ChatGPT saying, go for this, because ChatGPT doesn't know. It just generates text. It's a parrot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But when you have 3 parrots talking together that are analyzing it in different, very intelligent ways, that's what this tool does for you. So what I would do is I would look at aquarium ciclet as well. I'm like, okay, look, this one has the most money behind it, has $1 behind it.
Yep.
Okay, then this has a high competition. So clearly this is the one that makes the money. It's up 12% this year. And it has, the trend is quite good. The SEO score is, low, lower than this big bar here, because that's the granddaddy keyword. That's African cichlid. That's like the main informational keyword here, right? To which only medium people are competing on and only bid a quarter. So it's only here because of the massive search volume that it has. So I would run the difficulty on the top 100 and see how it looks. And then the next 100 and see how it looks. Then the next 100 and see how it looks. And then, whatever, 5 or 10 pages are going to stand out from every batch I do. And that's how I start building the site. And I would start looking at this one here. I'd be like, okay, aquarium cichlid. What is this? And so let's click search, see what it is. Aquarium cichlid is apparently people want images of it. People need to know things. People don't even know. People don't even know what they want for this query. How to set up an African cichlid tank.
There you go.
African cichlid tank size. This is the one that has more money behind it. Coming from what? I have no idea. I don't see here. Probably people selling aquariums for cichlids.
Yeah. It's got to be that. Can't be fishes. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
think
If,
so.
hey, who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, who knows?
Here's someone got a robot text set up, and this would be very easy to rank for because someone with a robots.txt, you can't even read the page, is ranking here.
Yeah,
So this is actually going to be, at least this spot will be easy to take it over.
it's crazy. Yeah.
So, this is probably a bad example because, this is just what someone had on their mind and said, "Oh, type it in." So I did. But yeah, so I would start inserting down here and be like, okay, this one has a bit more money behind it. This one has 500, 600 cichlid sale near me for sale near me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, regarding near me, you asked about near me. We don't do near me. We would do cichlid for sale, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Cichlid for sale, Toronto, Ontario.
The city itself. Yeah.
Or whatever location, or the state, whatever. Mm-hmm. Cichlid for sale, Nevada. Whatever you want to, whatever people get, and you'd have to do some search, because near me used to work as a keyword. It doesn't work anymore. The AI is now changing that out to be where the people are from.
Oh wow, they know now.
Yes, they do.
So could you do me a favor, please, just to wrap things up? If you could do a search for mold removal Philadelphia, I just want to see because I've seen some results here. I just wanted to share your or really see your advice here. If you were to type in mold removal Philadelphia on Google, and I wanted to show you the search result, there's a website that comes up.
Sure. Okay. So I'll use the special mold removal. Okay. So it thinks I'm in Philadelphia, right?
Yep. So obviously we would scroll down to not the Google Map pack. Right there where it says watermoldfire.net. Okay, so this site that I was on earlier, if you go on this and click on it, mm-hmm. I've looked at the site and did it open? Oh, there you go. Okay, so this site, they're ranking on the top page. I guess they're second or third or whatever position they are at. Here, I saw the words. There was less than 1,000 words. Not enough. There's no infographics. There were just a few pictures. I could easily beat them. So are you saying that with your advice, make a crazy, beautiful page for this? Because look, their URL is Philadelphia, PA /mold removal.
Yeah.
So you're saying to just really focus on creating this site, this page, on targeting that keyword and doing the same concept without worrying about clusters and interlinking and all that, and that I will be fine that way, correct?
Yeah, that's what my group does. I have over 100 students, and I have had over 100 students for the last 6 years, and we don't do any of that stuff you're talking about. And we
that's crazy.
We all do very well. I'm not gonna sit here. And I'm also the only SEO guy who'll tell you the truth. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you all my students succeed. Some fail, some drop out, but I'd say 70% of us rank pretty well 70% of the time.
They've done service page businesses like these type of.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I have tons of students. I have tons of students doing this. Tons doing
Yeah, it's very interesting. That knowledge alone is going to be valuable to me it just blows my mind. Maybe I was looking at this whole thing the wrong way.
Let me show you. So here's the group. Here's the wins channel. Just Joe guy. All he does is local.
Oh, wow.
And his wins go on and on.
Look at that.
And on. This was him too. Look at this. Jeez. He disagrees with me on a bunch of stuff. He's like, Josh, I disagree. I don't use this and that. I use this and that. I'm like, okay, cool. Because we're scientists. We can get along.
That jump is unrealistic.
Yeah. He does. That's all he does is local.
It's crazy.
And this is recent. This is not.
I see that.
March 23. This is not one example of a win he got 10 years ago that we're still using like an example.
Yeah.
Fuck
National site, 2 months doing it. Wow.
Yeah, he usually ranks within weeks. Another guy who's doing really well.
Yeah.
He just got a whole bunch of boosts here. To page one. Here's another one he did. Here's another 1-month-old Joe win. There's another Joe win. There's another student, Liam. There's another Joe win. Oh yeah, here's look at this. Andre is getting these kinds of wins from doing a totally different tactic that Joe's doing. That Joe doesn't even, I mean, sure, Joe knows about it now, but that Joe's not even using, right? I've got guys in here who are just slaying it. And these are my students.
You're talking like in less than a year. I mean,
oh yeah. I mean,
he's
ranking number one, not page one, number one.
Snippets he's hitting. Damn.
Oh yeah.
They may be getting clicks, man.
Oh yeah.
Very impressive. Yeah.
So yeah, no, we got a ton of guys doing this. So I mean, I don't know. I would have to take a little bit of a deeper look at this before I could make really bold claims. But I would say yes, of course you can beat this. This is what we do. this is what we do all day long.
Your chat group would also assist in, because I've heard both things about AI, but hearing it from you, it seems like it's not going to go away. But maybe using it for guidance and not completely spin off. But because if I could produce content with the help of AI, it just makes it 10 times easier. And if I could hire somebody that just does that all day instead of hiring a bunch of writers,
you Keyword Spy will do this automatically now, right?
Yeah, I saw your thing editor part where does it detect too if it's AI detectable, or remember that?
Yeah. So you can either import the URL you want to work on, if you have an existing one. Pretty soon there's going to be a big green button here that says generate AI content, and it's going to generate the whole thing for you. It's going to do the URL, title tag, meta description, and it will have all the keywords and all the depth, the right depth and the right spread, because you need a spread as well, as I mentioned.
Sure.
And that's how I think these people who are making these clusters, they think you need different pages. You don't. You could go on one page. It'd be more powerful to put it on one page actually than spreading out on multiple pages. And it also has the predictability levels that you want, or the lack thereof, quite frankly. Because if you just get if I just go to ChatGPT and say, write me an article on mold removal Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Let's go to Legacy ChatGPT. Write me a article for blah. If I do this is going to be awful. Right? It'll be as good as someone who doesn't give a shit what they're doing overseas.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah.
But this is not going to rank, right? This is going to be terrible. It'll only rank if your competition is.
So your AI will not do something like this. It'll do
no. We have a 4-step process with an AI that's watching it every time, and then it checks for helpfulness. Is this
expertise? Told me different AIs are talking to each other.
Helpful? Yeah. Yes, it'll reject it and redo it until it's correct.
Mm.
If we were just doing this, we would get caught by Google like that. I won't let anything be attached to my name that sucks. All I have is my name, right?
Makes
so
sense.
So I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that every single one of my students is a millionaire and we're all driving Lamborghinis and we're all dating Playboy models. Like, I'm not gonna say that, right? But we're doing really well, and because we work at this really, really hard. And I'll be the first guy to tell you, oops, they found our thing we're doing. That's happened a couple times. Oops, they found this thing. Like, for example, for months, maybe 4 years ago, no one knew this, but you could have multiple H1s in your page. And if you put EMQs in them, it was an insane booster.
Yeah.
And because no one else was doing multiple H1s, so no one noticed, right?
Yeah.
And we noticed, we put multiple H1s in a page and we tested it. It was like, boom! I'm like, holy shit, this boosted like 30 spots. And so our group was doing this, and then they caught us like 4 months later, and it was a huge demotion. Like they were penalizing our pages. Like, fuck, So that's what.
But isn't there a chance though of you getting caught with with the way that you've designed this, where it's just not 100% bulletproof, and then all of your sites or your work that you've done and put into gets tanked?
Yeah, nothing is 100% bulletproof. But I would go. I will go on record now and say I'm going to say this is 90% bulletproof, which is pretty fucking high, pretty effing high.
Yeah.
Because we know the predictability. Check it out here. Look, here. I'll take this. We take what ChatGPT produced, and that was 3.5. I did because it was faster.
Yep.
GPT-4 wouldn't have been that much better. Let's go to AI Spy. Let's go to the advanced AI detection. Let's go in here to, this is called the GLTR. Oh, hold on, actually, never mind. I need to put this here in Notepad first, so to get rid of the style. Boom, AX. Okay, here. Boom. Okay, so now we're analyzing text. This color coding is how we detect AI content.
Oh, look at that.
Right.
This
So
is
we have
amazing.
these are the top 10 tokens.
Dude, no one has this. No one
So
has
anything that's green, this is the GLTR method, which is an academic method for based on the top K, the top 10 K. The top K is a method of sampling, of modeling and generating tokens. All these LLMs work on a tokenizer, right? So they read your response, they tokenize it, that gets sent to the model. The model thinks of the statistical tokens or word pieces it should come after, and then generates the model. And it has attention, and it has a couple other things in there, making sure that you're still on at least ChatGPT does. The good ones do. So this will tell me anything that's green here. This should actually be red because this is terrible. Quite frankly, anything that is green here is not good. That is what Google is going to catch you on. And the longer, look at this whole sentence. Look how this whole sentence. Do you know how many times this was the first predictable, the fourth predictable, I can't see that because
holy shit, that's crazy.
That's the first predictable, the second predictable, the fourth predictable.
Yep.
You know the probability of these things? That was a 93% chance, 4% chance, 38% chance, 10% chance, 4% chance, 27% chance. Do you know what the percentages of having all those in a row are, though, however?
Yeah.
That's like flipping a coin 10 times and getting heads 10 times. This is how Google will detect you if there's any way they will detect you. This is not the only way of detecting AI content, and we have other ways of detecting it, but this is, in my opinion, the best way. And you can see by these red lines here, you just can't go with ChatGPT. Look at how long it goes on with the highly predictable tokens. And top 100 isn't much better either, by the way, right? These are arbitrary human ways we've decided to divide it up. Google won't divide it up this way. They will just be like, if you're the 11th, if this is the 11th most predictable, it's the 34th. Okay, fine. The 31st. It's still pretty likely to have it in there. There was a 93% chance this was going to start with this. So this was very easy to predict, right? And so your average predictability length here is 6 tokens. Your worst run is 25 tokens. These are the kind of level, and 81% predictable overall. These are the kind of levels we see in ChatGPT auto-generated content. Our numbers are far better than this in our tool that generates it. Yeah, and if you want to fix this, you just start cutting into this. Either you run it through our tool again, and the AI will cut into it through the whole thing automatically, while auto balancing the depth and spread of keywords and ensuring that it is the highest expertise coming from the highest experts and the most helpful at the same time by clicking one single button. Or you can do it manually. You can be like mold growth, sadly causes. There we go. If you run it, boom. Because I put in different words there, boom. Now I chose one that is the 2,414th most predictable. The probability of that happening is now down 0.000. Like we're going into, So that's how.
This is amazing. Yeah, this is how your thing detects it, huh?
And so we go a host of health problems. Host is a better word because host of health problems had alliteration. That's better writing. So host was still pretty predictable. Oops, darn. See, sometimes you're like, the AI still got you though. The AI is like, I knew about that one. Because reading all these tokens to date, I know what you're going to say here, right? So,
that's crazy. Yeah.
But that's how you could start to really break it down. At least I broke it down a little bit.
Once you hit keyword spy, you generate the keywords. You then take whatever data that you find, you check off the ones that you want to use with the reports right here. Yeah. And then you could go on editor.
You won't even have to do that. You won't even have to do that. It's going to have the highest scored words. Yep. We test actual BERT keywords. Here they are here. We test, and then we're testing these BERT entities here. Then we have neural matching, rank brain tests, and then we have another way of testing. We build one model for you here. This one is more rank brain slanted. This one is like 90% neural matching slanted. This one is like 60% rank brain slanted. But we cannot fully isolate the two. But we do run your own model for you. That's why it takes 30 or 40 minutes to run the whole thing.
What are those little thumbs up and thumbs down? Is that for like...
What you can do, these are the winning words that it'll use to build in the AI. If let's say I didn't like, for home light fixtures, let's say I know ceiling is important, but we don't sell any ceiling lamps. So let's get rid of that. You just press down and it'll get rid of it. And so when I go in here, into here, and I want to do a title tag, when I submit the winning words, you see ceilings is gone.
Got it.
I say submit, and it'll generate my ceiling tag. Home light fixtures, illuminate your home with fixtures and lamps. That's a pretty damn good title tag, actually.
Yeah. It also takes the meta too, the meta description and all. Does it do that?
Yeah, we just improved the meta description even. We've seen, guys, I just got a 20-spot boost in my latest meta description test. I could not believe it. A meta description.
Wow.
Gave me a 20-spot boost.
Yeah.
I could not believe it. I was like, wow. Like, because we've always known meta description was a boosting factor, not just for CRO, but for like keywords in it. But it has its own keywords. It has its own AI, which we learned, which was just, I was thinking as Google, I was like, of course, because it's not the main information on the page. It's the meta information about the page. It should have its own keywords, its own machine learning, and it does. So when we add the winning words from this, you see these winning words are different than the title tag winning words, right? The meta description.
How is it? Because off that home light fixture, that's where it's pulling it from, right?
Yes, we've already run this report.
Okay, that's what happened. Okay, the report's already there.
The report's already done.
Yes,
so I just click back to reports, and under
Wow.
RankBrain is what governs for meta description. And so these are the winning meta description words. And so we have a full analysis here of how RankBrain likes these words, the frequency of the top 10 versus the top 100, the relative frequency of the top 10 versus the top 100, and then whether there's a huge difference between how often it was in the top 100 versus the top 10. And if there's anyone you don't like here, you can get rid of it. If you're like, I don't like free, so we also score them. So these meta description words are scored because these keywords are different than all the other keywords in the system. This is only for your meta description words.
Got it.
Right. So if you're like, okay, but I don't want, if you're like, okay, great, Josh, these words scored really well in terms of the machine learning of what Google is doing, but I don't want to say free on my page. Okay, fine. Just drop that word and it's not in the winning words anymore. Now we've dropped it a number of like 20 points, I believe. And so now it gets a 20-point demotion here. Although it really jumped up from the T100 to the T10, the word free.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why we put all these words here. So if you go back here and submit the meta description, right now it runs it's a very short meta description to make sure it fits. We found out that a longer meta description is actually a higher booster. So now we're going to be adding a new way of doing it that I just tested to get huge boosts. We're getting like page 2 to page 1 boosts out of the meta description alone. Part of the reason why I do this is because I love it, because it never ceases to boggle my mind as to what Google is doing to rank pages and how it actually works versus how people think it works.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing. It's quite amazing to see.
Perfect.
So if I was like, okay, home light fixtures, if I was like just to do this, write me a page on home light fixtures.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's going to generate this, and we'll see what Keyword Spy thinks of it. While this is writing it, do you have any other questions? What other questions do you have? How can I help you?
I don't know. I think you've given me a lot of insights and feedback.
I'm glad to hear it. So what you would do...
But I'm loving what you're showing me right now. I hope it's okay. You're showing me what you're.
Oh, of course. Yeah, no, of course. This is for anyone who uses Keyword Spy to use. And and when you join Underground SEO University, I will teach you the science behind this, why we chose everything. So we got kind of the best of both worlds. We got all the science that people like nerds like me can dig into and get into to see why Josh is recommending what he's recommending. That I don't tell anyone who's using the tool. And then also people are like, yeah, whatever, I don't care. I just want to get this down really quick. I just want to do 10 pages a day and charge $100 a page and make $1,000 a day. I don't blame you. Okay, just run the tool then, So right out of the box, ChatGPT, the readability is only is extremely difficult to read, it says, which is not good. The average is 55. We're not even under the top 10 average, and we're definitely not optimized by any stretch of the imagination. The sentiment is positive. That's what it should be. But the predictability is really high, as we noticed. The words are way lower than they need to be.
Yep.
And in terms of the content, in terms of the entities we're using, when we check the work, and we go to words, and then we go to score, there's big gaps. There's big gaps in entities spread entities that you need.
Yeah, I see them.
And they're really highly scored words. So you don't have this like 19, like 24 is the highest. So 19 is really high.
This is suggesting basically you need to use the word bulbs.
Yeah, you need to use the word bulbs, residential bulb.
Yeah.
And this is just straight from ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is not good enough on its own. Plus, this is highly easy to detect, right? Very easy to detect for Google. This does not have the experience or expertise keywords in it. You're not saying you're an expert. You're not talking from an expert perspective. You're not saying what the experts say, right? This is not helpful. This is just the shitty SEO content that would have done 10 years ago. That would have done fine 10 years ago. It would have done fine 10 years ago. Other than it still doesn't have the depth to beat everybody else because everyone is a little bit richer than you are.
So now as you're on this and you're editing this based off of these insights on the right-hand side, if you scroll down for me real quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. You look at the entities, keep going down. Is that it? Is that so the images, it'll tell you how many images.
So helpful content, you could generate it here.
Yeah.
You could say, okay.
Are these what like show up for questions related to the searches that most people are searching for? Is that what that is?
No. This is the actual, those things that I check marked right there. That is the actual questions that Google asks in the helpful content update. They say, this is what they actually tell you need to do. So we build AIs all around this. You need to demonstrate firsthand expertise and a depth of knowledge. Okay. So we do that, right?
So this will spit that in there.
Yes, it will. This is not the way I would do it, but this is the way I would do it now. So, boom. Add. And so I would start writing this information, right? And product review stuff. This is all the product review stuff you need. You could add in pros and cons, for example.
Sure.
And this is really to help human writers do this, to make sure that whether you're a subject matter expert or not, whether, and here I would add this now, like that. Whether you're a subject matter expert or not, this is to tell you that you thought you were making a helpful article, but you didn't talk about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's like a guiding tool telling you what to kind of, I see your point.
And now the images, these are the winning images now based on a totally different AI that nobody knows about, nobody knows about, not a lot of people know about, which is called the knowledge panel. So the knowledge panel is an entity-based artificial intelligence that has a knowledge graph. And the knowledge graph, people call it, it's called the KG or the knowledge graph. And you hear a lot of talk about this in local because people are manipulating the knowledge graph machine readable ID or the KGMID or the KGID. Yeah. They're partly right that it's being used, but they're all wrong in how it's being used. There's a lot of jiggery pokery that goes on here, a lot of magic that goes on here that actually has really nothing to do with ranking as far as our testing could show. But there is some of it that is real. And so we help find you the actual stuff you should be using here.
Called KG, huh?
Yes, KGMID. Yeah. So we'll go in here and we'll put in this. I just put in the. I thought I would put in the image. Sorry, I don't use the tool like this. I would have to go to. I would have to go back here to image entity, and I'd pick up the winning image here. Now, you have to decide whether or not you want to use your competitor's images because that's a competitor image. Yeah. Go in here. You're like, oh, okay.
But using their image could be a problem, right? Because
it could. I might put. I
just make my own. I have a bunch of Photoshop guys.
You could make your own.
Yeah. But that image for some reason is just the KG is giving that a high authority, is what you're saying.
Correct.
Right. That's what's happening.
Correct. So then we put the image in here.
Oh, I see.
And I just said image source from blah.
It's crazy that Google could see the images too. It's nuts, man.
There's two ways they can see them. So the knowledge graph has like a node that has properties, and one of them, we literally found these properties are keywords that boost if you put them in the right tag. So even the right attribute necessarily. As I said, everything is machine learned, everything. So including down to the attributes, class, IDs, alts, all machine learned. So that's one way. The other way is they do it by, we have two competing theories. One is it's all just the DOM and they machine learned that. Another theory is that they have, with their Vision AI, they have actually machine learned web pages like human faces. and they know for this niche, you're supposed to have an image here and a table here and this kind of graphical elements, because you start seeing graphical similarities if you start looking at the competitors. And so we tested this and we found, hey, it's true. When you actually use their page type, we call it, and you start mimicking the graphical elements, that also gives you boosts as well, big boosts. And that could be some of the boat anchors that are holding people back, and they don't realize it because they're like, oh, my page is fine. That was developed in 1997.
Yeah.
Like, no, and not because it's old. Because if everyone else is old too, and they're using the same HTML you are, then you're fine. It's because everyone else has upgraded to WooCommerce with WordPress, and all the WooCommerce WordPress junk is stuffed in the HTML page, and you're still using whatever, some 1990 e-commerce thing, which is totally different. And even if you look the same, you're not the same under the hood.
Yeah.
Or you are the same under the hood, but your CSS is styling everything in different places.
Sure.
Then you're not ranking for that reason either, right?
So in this editor that you're working on here, obviously this has to be optimized and I guess with the proper tags and all broken down the right way, right? That's what needs to be done. But this is right here, what it's doing is it's putting the things that you could have missed on here for you to go back and edit and work on, right? Or improve content. Wait, what does that do?
Well, that's one of our AI rewriters. So so that rewrites that into a sentence.
Cool.
For us. That takes this point that was helpful, and you got to make sure it's in there. That'll rewrite this too. But that's just the kind of mini way we're doing it right now. The system is going to fix the whole thing. The system is going to produce the whole thing on its own, and you really won't need to do any of this jiggery pokery.
Yeah.
Unless you're a super nerdy SEO like me and you want to control the whole thing. So you have complete control to control the whole thing, or you can just press there'll be a giant button here that says generate AI content. You just keep clicking that until it's what you want. It has the numbers you want here. But the numbers were all, because I have the AI built to make the numbers good, the numbers should be good on the first try.
Does this show what it would look like on like a WordPress site eventually when it's done? Or
this is just, it does have a WYSIWYG editor. It does have, you can edit the HTML.
Source code, okay, yeah.
In the future, we're going to build this into people's WordPress. Like it'll just click to upload it to your WordPress.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Now, if I rerun the content score after adding that stuff, now you see the score gets higher. Score gets better.
Yep, I see that. And you want to be right in that green area, right? That's the point.
Correct. Well, at least you want to be higher than this.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be in the red. There is also over optimization that people don't realize.
Sweet, man. Listen, it was a pleasure talking to you. Would you allow me to join in? How does that work?
Sure, of course. Yeah, just email me.
I'm not an expert, but I'm a learner.
Sure.
That's where I'm coming from. Awesome.
So awesome. So we'll see you there. Thanks a lot, Adil. And I also appreciate your feedback as well.
Yeah. No problem. If you need anything else, let me know. I'll be here.
Sure thing.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, brother. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.